live on Justin TV, Bilderberg, Saturday with a big protest coming up shortly. Just want to cover some Bilderberg treason. We had the newspaper from a few days ago, obviously, talking about the visit of this Swiss federal politician. She's in the federal government here, name of Doris Lotard. So it was announced that she was going to be attending Bilderberg meeting, and then obviously yesterday we had the footage of the helicopter leaving the helipad there at Bilderberg, and the photographs from that event suggest that this individual was there preceding the departure of the helicopter, the individual to the right of the lady with the dark hair, which is Doris Lotard, the Swiss politician. And I've actually got photos of this individual before the helicopter set off. So the point is basically, was the departure of Lotard planned to precede the visit of Dominique Beitig, who is the Swiss politician who basically has accused her of treason for fraternising with foreign officials, which of course under these Swiss laws, which are similar to the US Logan Act, is completely illegal. It's treason. Of course the Logan Act, Hillary Clinton was fined under it, and this year, as we reported earlier, Secretary of Defence Robert Gates is in attendance this year at Bilderberg, which of course is an act of treason against the United States of America, because he's still an official in a position of high authority. So we've got numerous accounts of treason, numerous accounts of people breaking the law flagrantly, and now people looking at pressing charges. So we'll be back with more. Stay tuned.
And he's there, but he's not on the list, according to our sources.
He's not on the official list, but Tucker, from his inside sources this morning, got a list of 5 names, one of which was Anders Rasmussen, the head of NATO. He wasn't on the official list either, but we caught a photograph of him on the first day. So there are several attendees who are not on the official list who are here at Bilderberg. Stay tuned, we'll be back soon.
John here from WeAreChange Birmingham. I'm with Paul Joseph Watson, and we're in Samaritz. It's 2011, 10th of June. It's the Bilderberg meetings. Paul, good to see you, mate.
Good to be here. Yeah, we arrived yesterday, myself and Aaron Dykes, reporting for infowars.com. First thing we did, we bought the Swiss newspapers, and on the front page it was reported that Bilderberg are deciding the new IMF head here at Bilderberg 2011. So again, another fact to debunk the debunkers who claim that Bilderberg has no power whatsoever. So at the moment we're filming the arrivals. They were all delayed by weather problems, airport problems. We believe we've seen David Rockefeller. We got photos earlier which looked like Richard Pearl and also Bill Gates, but they were quite blurry, so we have to wait to confirm that when we upload them to the computer. But we basically changed positions. Bilderberg keeps moving around. They got 3 different ways to come in, so we keep having to move around to get the best shots. But we expect that the majority of the members will now start arriving as we head towards dinner time. It's already 10 to 4 here, so very excited about the fact that we're going to see the movers and shakers of the global elite here at Bilderberg 2011.
So what do you think possibly other points could be on the agenda? Obviously we're hypothesising now. What other things can we be seeing that may happen over the next 12 months that could come out of this meeting? You've already mentioned the new IMF head.
Yeah, the other major points are Bilderberg are petrified about resistance in the US Congress to the bombardment of Libya. So they're going to talk about how to derail that resistance, of course being led by Senator Rand Paul. Also, as last year, they're still very much concerned about the Greek debt situation and especially the euro. Of course, last year they resolved to save the euro because it was on the verge of collapse, and they're still very concerned about that, because if Greece defaults on its debt, then that could cause a wider crisis, and top Bilderbergers who are attending this meeting are scared stiff about the fact that it could derail the global currency and the regional currency agenda if the euro was to fall, because that's their poster child for this centralised global currency agenda.
Also, do you believe that they're quite worried? I mean, obviously we've heard Zabriskie say that there's a global awakening. I mean, I've not been to Bilderberg before, nor have you. I mean, there seems to be a lot of people here. There's a lot of independent press. There's WeAreChange from all over the world. WeAreChange Switzerland and obviously New York, myself. Do you think they're worried up there?
They're very worried. It came out last year. The Guardian journalist Charlie Skelton overheard conversations where they were saying they basically resent the fact that people have enough income to be able to travel and document their meetings and protest against them. So, I mean, they're scared, they're running scared, they're worried about the internet. Jim Tucker said that was another point to come out of this year's meeting, is that they're talking about how to restrict, regulate and shut down the internet to prevent the spotlight falling on them. So numerous things they're very concerned about.
I presume you've also seen the website that they have put up quite recently, bilderbergs-meetings.co.uk, which kind of has a bit of a list of who the attendees were and also some of the policy that was discussed. Of course, there's no actual minutes to any meetings. Would you imagine that if we put enough pressure on these people that they're going to have to actually start giving us minutes? You know, as a business person myself, anything that is discussed that would have anything to do with a limited company has to be minuted. I mean, these guys, how can they carve up the world and not have any records of what's been said or done?
Well, certainly I think Bilderberg is moving more towards being just a place to groom potential future power brokers, prime ministers, presidents, IMF heads, central banking heads. But they're not going to be interested in putting out minutes for many years to come, as far as I'm aware of. Of course, Jim Tucker and others routinely get the inside minutes from the group, and they don't want them released because, I mean, for example, take the 1955 minutes. In that history of their meetings, they talk about the plan to create the single currency in the European Union, and that was back in 1955. So they're not going to they're not going to let the scum see their minutes for many years to come, I imagine.
So, as they were then, they could be planning an agenda which could be 30, 40 years in advance of where we are now, so 2050. If that's what they've done with the single currency, the EEC, obviously the creation of the European Union, I mean, they were well ahead.
Well, exactly, and I mean, Etienne Davignon, the head of the steering committee at Bilderberg, actually admitted to the EU Observer last year that the European Union single currency, the euro, was a brainchild of Bilderberg and that they finalised it in the 1990s. And the documents from '55 say that the move towards a single common trade area and single monetary union was set in motion way back then, which is why the EU recently celebrated its 50-year anniversary, because of course it started with the Treaty of Rome, which occurred just a few years after that first Bilderberg meeting, where they decided to pursue this course of a unified Europe under their control.
Thanks very much, Paul. Cheers for that.
Thank you.
Ask yourselves, what are you doing in this time of great challenge? What are you doing to unlock minds? Go to infowars.com and prisonplanet.tv for the latest headlines and cutting-edge information.
In backward times I march forward, the Dark Lord with a charred sword dragging on a scarred floor. Part worn from war with men who aren't sure and can't draw quick enough to hit the dartboard. Get your heart torn from the moment the stars form. Not born with a force you can't score. My thoughts aren't the norm, my portrait half drawn. Cold and sweet like heart door, and this weed holds far more flavors of nature than a park lawn. So pick a weapon your parched stalk and throw it in the mini shark jaws, or pirouetting pyramids and spark yours. The fast laws where we will say the hardcore with a large draw in your car door. You could get charged or flung behind bars for possession of an anti-weapon that can't start war. My people ain't playing. I come with the team cause they won't be looking. You know the road, but if you ain't part of the clique, you ain't part of the plan, so you might as well TLG. My people ain't playing. I come with the team. Yeah, the lost generation. Yo, listen, yo, hey yo, talk is cheap, but you can't afford to speak. You're forcing me to make this war what it ought to be made. I move forwardly, if that's a word, then I rap awkwardly. Give cat a verse, I'm taking the whole track to the mortuary. Torture beats when the quarter tweaks my quarter speech. Morning sleep, killing MCs like blackbirds in a falling tree, and spitting plenty abstract verbs that hurt like a track nerve. I move cautiously cause actors I'm crack at work. Little disorderly freak walking the street where smack lurks, and I don't need more than cheese. So Mr. D, can then I place an order, please. 4 keys squeeze to the border of these is all I need. You ought to believe. Slaughter sheep with no 4-4 up my sleeve. To the day me and the great sorcerer meet, I'm a course for the league. Pause the breathe, sharpen my claws, then I eat red meat. From Brixton to forceful heat for dead the beef, yeah. Kinda laid back, but my people ain't playing. Come with the chain, cause they're forced to be regulated. You know the ropes, but if you ain't part of the clique, you ain't part of the plan, so you might as well quit. Kinda laid back, but my people ain't playing. Come with the chain, cause they're forced to be regulated. You know the ropes, but if you ain't part of the clique, you ain't part of the plan, so you might as well quit. Hey yo, I'm Merc track, start from the end then work back. Reverse prac, have a moonwalk in a curse pack. Dirt rats and get dirt naps on the first lap. This fake friends is something I never own, like a worse rap. Observe the facts, merge that with an unnerved urge to attack. So now I don't spit, I splurge raps. The herb stack diminishes as the words lapse. Your herb rats it, I finished it. Your nerve trapped each verse packs. Evidence of a superb knack to earn stats with a relevance to the word rap. Learnt that no intelligence is a bird map, and earth has many a burst traps to swerve past. Yo, the future is hers black. They take a year's tax, build another absurd crack, berserk cracks. Just get this into your fur hats. The youth of these so-called kingdom prefer gats. Yo, what happened to the beat, man? I break a beat, fakes face their feet when they taste defeat. Take a deep breath, each step's to evade the beef. Shake your fleet, saint will seek out weak saints who claim they're deep. Ain't snaking me, mine whose name you speak bars. Give them 8 apiece, brazenly, blatant heat. Got stars of the major leagues quaking in their Jeep. 88 feet above the stage that you aim to reach is the place I be when I lay and sleep. Kinda laid back, but my people ain't.
For more than a century, ideological extremists, either end of the political spectrum, have seized upon well-publicized incidents to attack the Rockefeller family for the inordinate influence they claim we wield over American political and economic institutions. Some even believe we are a part of a secret cabal, working against the best interests of the United States, characterizing my family and me as internationalists, and of conspiring with others around the world to build a more integrated global political and economic structure. One world, if you will. If that's the charge, I stand guilty, and I am proud of it.
Illegal, it's treason. Of course, the Logan Act, Hillary Clinton was fined under it, and this year, as we reported earlier, Secretary of Defense Robert Gates is in attendance this year at Bilderberg, which of course is an act of treason against the United States of America because he's still an official in a position of high authority. So we've got numerous accounts of treason, numerous accounts of people breaking the law flagrantly, and now people are looking at pressing charges, so we'll be back with more. Stay tuned.
And he's there, but he's not on the list, according to our sources.
He's not on the official list, but Tucker, from his inside sources this morning, got a list of 5 names, one of which was Anders Rasmussen, the head of NATO. He wasn't on the official list either, but we caught a photograph of him on the first day. So there are several attendees who are not on the official list who are here at Bilderberg. And I've actually got photos of this individual before the helicopter set off. So the point is basically, was the departure of Lotard planned to precede the visit of Dominique Beitig, who is the Swiss politician who basically has accused her of treason for fraternising with foreign officials, which of course under these Swiss laws, which are similar to the US Logan Act, is completely Lotard. So it was announced that she was going to be attending Bilderberg meeting, and then obviously yesterday we had the footage of the helicopter leaving the helipad there at Bilderberg, and the photographs from that event suggest that this individual was there preceding the departure of the helicopter, the individual to the right of the lady with the dark hair, which is Doris Lotard, the Swiss politician. Hey folks, we're live on Justin TV, Bilderberg, Saturday with a big protest coming up shortly. Just want to cover some Bilderberg treason. We had the newspaper from a few days ago, obviously, talking about the visit of this Swiss federal politician. She's in the federal government here, nickname of Doris